It's always adorable when a villain or clown from a previous season of YouTube drama pokes their curious little heads out from the shadow just to remind everyone that they're still out there and still an insufferable loser. That's what we're dealing with today. It's a YouTuber named TechLead, and a couple of years ago, Compilation threw him into the Thunderdome and smacked him down and exposed to the world that this guy is a superstar scammer. And this week, he tried to puff out his chest and spread his invisible, non-existent lats by copyright claiming and taking down a video another YouTuber made about him that hurt his feelings. Internet Anarchist made a video kind of just going over the Compilation vs. TechLead saga from a while back, and TechLead decided to copyright strike him and openly, on camera, with 4K video evidence, admit to falsely flagging him and abusing the YouTube copyright system. This delusional douchebag attempted to take a victory lap over Internet Anarchist's corpse, gloating about his abuse of the YouTube copyright system. His sensitive little feelings led to the hatred blinding his eyes like cataracts, and him not realizing that he is openly admitting to something you are not allowed to do and can get into big trouble for. As I've mentioned in the past, there is a very popular case where YouTube themselves actually stepped in when someone was notorious for false flagging other YouTubers' content, took them to church and put the fear of God in them. Like, the false flagger back then got slapped with massive fines per instance of their abuse of that copyright system. So it is something that is taken very seriously, and this dumb, insufferable asshole is openly admitting to it on camera. That's not even doing it justice. He is so proud of it, he was wearing that like a Boy Scout badge on his jacket. But I'm assuming the stupid potion that he drank must have wore off, or maybe someone in his life kicked down the front door and told him how terrible of an idea that video was, because he has deleted it as of this afternoon. So the only footage I have to show you is from the Internet Anarchist, who was kind of just cutting the most shocking bits of what he openly admits to.
I tend to copyright strike down any expose videos on me because I understand that these are not real exposés. There's no journalism involved in here at all.
Journalism is probably the boogeyman that keeps him up at night, haunting his nightmares. Because any journalist that ever looks into TechLead will find the most filthy and foul resume ever. This guy super sucks, and any journalism that's ever done on him only further exposes how much of a scumbag he is. I also just have to mention that the title of his video where he talks about this actually gave me a bit of a belly laugh like fucking Santa Claus. He had the chutzpah to call the YouTubers he's referring to in the video scam-tubers and put it in his title. Marinate in that for a moment. That's like Justin Timberlake calling someone else an alcoholic.
Welcome to the world of business where people are afraid that they're going to be doxxed. Well, if you're going to come into business and do business in this world, yes, you're going to be doxxed. You better have an identity. And so then he takes to Twitter complaining he's going to have to dox himself to the TechLead. So you're saying I have to share my personal information to TechLead or let my video be taken down? He's afraid he has to be doxxed if he wants to counter the dispute. YouTube jumps in and says, well, you can also hire an attorney if you want to represent yourself. Well, yeah, this is business, right? People have a complaint against you. You can't just be a nobody and hide behind anonymity, right?
You don't even have a real complaint. You have hurt feelings and thinning hair from the stress of being such a whiny loser. This is a ridiculous statement that just because you're in that field, you need to be doxxed. It's just, the way he talks about it, it just comes with the territory. You're out of your fucking gourd. Like, you've lost your marbles. I also can't stand the way he talks. He actually just sounds like what I imagine every Reddit mod who thinks their job is the most important thing in the world sounds like.
One of the main reasons I will actually copyright strike a video, though, is I want to know who's behind the video, right? I want to know who these people are. What if it's somebody I even know in real life? Oftentimes these haters are people who know you very well, actually. I mean, this could be a real physical threat to me.
That's called paranoia. Like, that's an actual mental disorder that you've got here. You might want to get yourself checked out for that one. You think that someone just making a video on the history of CoffeeZilla spanking your cheeks red could have been someone that you knew in real life that could lead to a physical threat against you because he made like a video essay about it. Come back to reality, TechLead. Snap out of the genjutsu that you're trapped under here. I don't know what world you're seeing. Like, that is a crazy perspective to have on it. Like, legitimately, that is unhinged. Now, I don't think he actually believes it. Like, in all honesty, I think the only reason he's putting that there is like a cover your own ass token as like a, oh, well, that sounds reasonable to like the mind of a Neanderthal, perhaps. But anyone who thinks about that for even like an iota of a second would immediately recognize that that is a ridiculous thing to actually believe, and I don't think he does. He's using that as some kind of justifiable reason for why he does that, but even he backpedals on that so quickly. Like, he gives up on that facade almost immediately.
Really, these scam tubers exist only because I allow them to exist. And I can shut them down anytime I like because I own all of the copyrights to the images and audio that they're using.
A complete fundamental misunderstanding of how anything in the real world works. What the fuck are you yapping about? What? No. Let me go ahead and set the record straight here. They are your videos, sure. But anyone can take those videos and make their own creative pieces about them using clips from them. That has been argued in court 100 times at least, and every single time it is always ruled that that is completely okay to do, fair use, as long as they're not taking your entire video and using it, or doing nothing transformative with it, then they have the legal right to do so. They can take your video and highlight moments from it. Talk about moments from it, the same way I'm doing right here to throw tomatoes at you. What I'm doing isn't journalism. I'm just spitting on you and making fun of you for the absolute clown that you are. And I can do that, and there's not shit you can do about it legally. You're more than welcome to try. I will 100% use every single resource available to the entire legal firm that we have at our agency, Mana, which I am an owner of, to absolutely take you to court and embarrass you if you want to go that route. Though I don't think you want discovery to happen on your end, just a little hunch there, tech lead. But the point is, you're just completely wrong. Like this little supervillain monologue you're giving, like pinky to the mouth like Dr. Evil. They exist because I allow them to. Like your dumb little fucking speech has no teeth to it because it's completely fucking wrong.
I will issue these copyright strikes on these new YouTuber, scam tuber videos. And I don't really care one way or another, I guess, but it's more of a hazing ritual for me, like a welcoming ceremony, just to let them know what they're in store for and who runs the show around here, who owns the content around here.
Oh God, Jesus, stand back. Whoa, whoa, this guy means business, holy shit. He's going insano style. Gee, wow, he's going fucking swag mode. He runs the show. He's the big dog. He's the big shot. The sheriff on the block. Watch out. Damn. Yeah, this all seems like the actions of someone who really doesn't care. Whining in a YouTube video about why you're falsely copyright striking other YouTubers, and then openly admitting that it's not even legitimate. It's a hazing ritual for you, a welcoming ceremony. That's the lamest shit I've ever heard. I have no doubt that you got wedgies growing up, and now this is your way of taking some of that power back. That's what I feel with this shit.
So this is my welcoming ceremony. What happens next in these copyright strike cases is typically we go into court proceedings where I have 30 days to file a legal action, which typically I'm not going to waste anybody's time doing. This is really just my welcoming ceremony, hazing ceremony for people, and so the video will probably be back up after a while. Now, regarding these copyright claims, the truth is, I don't really care. If I wanted to, I could go find all of these expose videos about me and copyright strike each and every one of them and take them down and take them to court if I really cared, if I wanted to.
You could absolutely try and do that. Just like I could try and do a backflip right now and probably break my fucking neck. But you can definitely try it and you would 100% fail. Just like me if I tried to do a backflip. You are openly admitting here. This right here would be evidence if you tried this. Because you are openly admitting that it's just a hazing ritual welcoming ceremony and not real. They're fraudulent strikes that you're issuing, blatantly abusing the copyright system. So, if you did actually take these to court, like the big shot you are, you would probably incur huge fines as a result of it, just like the last guy that YouTube beat down financially for this exact thing that you're talking about here. How dumb can you possibly be? He is with his whole chest talking about how he's abusing the YouTube copyright system here. And that is something that YouTube does take very seriously. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do about this going forward. He has deleted his confession video already, and now Internet Anarchist video has been reinstated as well. At the very least, it seems YouTube is aware of this situation, so it's just a matter of what are they going to do about it going forward. But yeah, I had to talk about this a little bit. This guy, Tech Lead, is a complete fucking loser. That's really about it. So yeah. Yesterday, a beloved YouTube group made an announcement, and it did not go over well. They ended up getting dunked on more than a Fisher-Price basketball hoop. It is the YouTube channel Watcher, as they announced their subscription-based paywalled content strategy going forward. It is really interesting. So, for those that don't know, this is a very popular YouTube group called Watcher. They make very well-produced content. I was unfamiliar with this channel until today with this news, but I was familiar with their work previously, like before they were Watcher. But they've been crushing it, clearly. Almost 3 million subs, every video getting like 1 million views, pretty much. It's all very high quality content. So then today, they posted this video, Goodbye YouTube. And it's like a really heartfelt video about what YouTube means to them, and it's very dramatic. You know, it's saying things like, if this is my last time on YouTube, what a fucking ride it's been. It's like the end to a 1990s action movie. YouTube, you son of a bitch, we had a good ride. That kind of thing, as they sail off into the sunset. But what they're actually doing is they're moving to their own subscription-based website. So, the strategy is, they're going to be releasing a couple of episodes still on YouTube, but the rest of that season will be exclusively behind paywalled content at watchertv.com. The video is getting absolutely bombarded with dislikes, and a lot of people have soured their impression of this group, regardless of what they decide to do going forward, even if they do backtrack this decision. It's a maneuver that just did not land. They went for a kickflip and ended up breaking both their ankles on this bad boy here. And it's pretty simple to understand why. It's the whole concept of the content you were getting for free is now no longer going to be free. That just always leaves the taste of shit in people's mouths. It's the worst flavor. No one likes a poop pop. So, understandably, a lot of people were voicing their concerns and their disappointment with this. Honestly, Watcher probably would have found more success if they made an announcement stating that one of the members had hit a deer on their way into work, and they had no remorse or something. Like, this hasn't been really a home run for them here. They said they made the service $5.99 because everyone and anyone can afford it. When did they see that? Well, I must have missed that statement. Was it in this video somewhere and I just am forgetting it? Because that is a crazy thing to say.
First. Steven, talk about money. Yeah, what's this price?
You can become a member of Watcher for $5.99 a month or $59.99 a year.
We want to keep the price low enough where anybody and everybody is able to afford it, but it also has to support the things that we do here. So that was the number that just made the most sense for the streamer.
That's very out of touch. I don't know how I missed that. I don't know how that flew under my radar. That is extraordinarily out of touch. That face right there says it all. Yep, that one just got ripped. Fuck it, we'll do it live, I guess. That's going in the final cut. Are we sure? Eek. Let me lay down the reality here. $6 isn't nothing. Especially not in the current climate of things where everyone and their grandmother is making a subscription service for every single fucking thing on the planet. We're in the gold rush right now where every company is turning their content into a subscription-based monthly payment to access it. And I mean everything. If you want like a bag of beans delivered to you, you probably have to subscribe to the bag of bean delivery stork service for $5.99 a month. So this is yet another subscription charge they're trying to peddle here for previously free YouTube videos. That's just not worth it for the majority of people and just adds another headache, an unnecessary subscription charge that I can't imagine many people being enthusiastic about paying for. Now, to be clear, they're not like removing their YouTube content that's already up. It's just going forward, they're only going to be releasing like the premiere of a season on their channel, and then the rest of that season is paywalled. Now, personally, I think it is a horrible idea. Going through their channel, their videos are long-form content for the most part, like 30 minutes plus, and I imagine with their history working at BuzzFeed for BuzzFeed Unsolved, they've learned how to optimize mid-roll ads, so they're probably pulling in a very high RPM on those videos. I have to imagine that is already covering the cost of production, but on top of that, and I didn't know this until stream last night, they also have a very successful Patreon with over 12,000 members and 3 different monthly payment tiers. And just for the cherry on top of this money cake, Mr. Krabs style, they have a ton of merch, obviously, but the biggest thing is they do a ton of brand deals. From what I can see, they run a lot of ads in their content. And many of you might not remember this, I actually own a company that specializes in putting brands with YouTubers and running ads for major YouTube channels. It's called Mana Talent Group. And I started that back in 2018, so I know what these deals look like. So I'm going to break the magician's code here and give you a little spitball estimate on what I think they're making per ad. With a channel of their size and their views and this style of content, I would wager a guess that each brand that appears in their content is paying between $15,000 and $35,000 a piece to be there. Now I know that's kind of a wide ballpark, it's just hard for me to guesstimate from the sidelines what their deals might look like, because longer term partnerships usually have discounts per slot because they've done a long-term deal, whereas like one-offs or short-term partners are paying more for like the couple of ads they're there for. But I'm confident that none of their brand partners are paying less than $15,000 to be on their content, and I'm pretty confident that it's probably going up to about $35K for their more one-offs or short-term deals. So they're already making tons of money through their content. You were right. They just don't really advertise it? So they already have this, and now they have Watcher TV, which is another subscription service, which I imagine is going to run congruent. Or if you pay $5 here, do you also get Watcher TV access? I don't know. Is it somewhere in the perks? That is a lot of doubloons they are pulling in right now. They got 12,000 members on that Patreon, and some of those tiers, that's a lot of bones. You're not really in a financially struggling situation with this channel. I'm just going to lay down the brass tacks here. I saw a few people defending them, saying like, no, they have 25 employees, they need to get their bread because it's very expensive. I'm going to peel back the curtain here real quick. I have more than 25 employees, considering I also have an esports organization, which has a lot of players on it. And I'm going to tell you, since they're professional gamers, their salary is going to be significantly higher than their employees' cost. And I'm able to finance all of that completely fine through streaming. And my streaming numbers are nowhere near as lucrative as their Patreon numbers. It's not even close. Theirs blows me out of the water. And I'm not exactly struggling with all of those employees for our esports org. To really drive this point home, one of our star players was $10,000 a month. One. And we have well north of 25 in total. And I was still able to do all of that through a fraction of their numbers here with what they're making on Patreon. And I have like a fourth of their RPM. My RPM on YouTube is about 3, and I'm confident that the Watcher channel is probably seeing north of 8 to 9 RPM on their videos. And still, I wasn't exactly struggling to cover all of these employees' costs. So I don't think that this subscription paywall service is necessary for them to stay afloat, especially not since they have this Patreon and they have such a successful YouTube channel already. Now, this isn't exclusive to just Watcher. There's been a lot of channels that have done similar things, and some of them have seen different degrees of success. I was researching it at the end of stream last night. However, all of the examples I can find of YouTube groups making their own third-party platforms where you can subscribe for exclusive content, that's a little different because they're not taking what was already free from that channel and putting it behind a paywall. They're adding like behind-the-scenes stuff, brand new shows, things like that, exclusive to that subscription tier on that third-party website. And for a couple of them, I saw that their third-party website was free with ads, and you had the option of subscribing for a monthly fee, whereas Watcher TV is only the $6 a month subscription fee, or the $60 a year. And it's weird because Watcher is already doing what those other channels do on their third-party platform on their Patreon. They're already offering like the exclusive stuff there for the monthly charges, and now they're adding another separate monthly charge for the content that people were used to getting for free on YouTube. So it's really just such a fucking mess. Now, of course, there's no telling if this is going to be a successful venture for them. It certainly doesn't look like it based on the reception here and all the tomatoes that are getting tossed at them. But with an audience of their size, they don't need a large portion of them to sign up at $5.99 a month to make it viable. They don't need a large number of conversion here, and I think they know that. But I really think that they're going to be surprised with how little will likely sign up here, because it is expensive. That's not nothing. They framed it like $6 a month is affordable to everyone. What? We all have $6 lying around. You guys don't have phones? Oh, you got $6. Like, they make it sound like it's basically nothing, when it's not. That's a lot, especially on top of every other subscription that people have in their daily lives. But I just really think it's a pretty dumb idea. This is going to completely kill their growth as a brand. It's going to be a very hard sell to people that don't know the Watcher why they should be willing to pay $5.99 a month to watch YouTube videos. Like, that's just not an easy thing to sell to people. It only come from a very loyal fan base that's already hooked on their content in this audience they built on YouTube, which they're now abandoning. So they're not really going to be bringing in new people, I don't think. Even with dropping like the premiere video on their channel, I think that's just going to frustrate people more. Like, oh, I really want to watch the rest of this. Oh, but I have to pay $6.99 for it, and I only get this? Like, that's not worth. It just, to me, doesn't seem like it's going to be a good long-term plan. But I could be totally wrong. Who knows? Maybe people are, like, elated and can't wait to pay for more streaming services. I think that blows ass. I'm so tired of streaming services popping up all over the place like a fucking plague. It's like Hydra, cut off one head and 2 more streaming services take its place. And now we're seeing it for YouTubers? Like, that's not exciting. Point blank, I just do not like it. I do not like Green Eggs and Ham. I do not like it, Sam I Am. Watcher TV, what a sham. I understand why some other YouTube channels have third-party places where they can pay for more content, but they're paying for more content on top of what they're already getting on YouTube. So, like, I know Ross Creations has one, which apparently people really like the way he does it. I know Sidemen have Sidemen Plus, and it seems like people like that as well. And from what I can tell, that's just giving you, like, the very loyal, like, ferocious fans more of what you already like. So you're getting, like, behind-the-scenes stuff, you're getting exclusive content that is totally separate from the content that they're already getting on the primary platform. Whereas with Watcher, that's not the case. You're losing what you're used to, and that's it. You now have to access it through $6 a month to get that same content. It just doesn't feel good. Especially because they already have a Patreon. Like, they were already doing the standard, which people don't mind, and I don't think there's anything wrong with, where, you know, your audience pays the Patreon monthly fee or whatever, and they just get more content from you guys. The behind the scenes, the podcast, the special edition stuff, the sneak peeks, whatever. Like, that makes sense. Like, that's value there, and they keep getting the content that they're used to, that you've been providing to them for free, that made them a fan in the first place on YouTube. I don't know, it just feels like a real slap in the face, and I totally understand why people are upset about it. I don't like it either. And I hope this isn't the direction a lot of YouTubers decide to go down in the future. I don't really know why they thought this would go over well. To me, it really seems like some kind of corpo suit came in there, like a devil on their shoulder, whispering in their ear that this is the way of the future. This is the way to do things, making subscription-based third-party services outside of YouTube. Grow your presence on YouTube, and then abandon it. Try and take all of them to your third-party site where you can really milk them dry for more money. It sucks. Like, that's just not healthy at all. There's nothing good about that direction. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit. That's really it. So yeah. On YouTube, there's an unwritten rule that when violated, it ruins your image forever. It causes irreparable damage to your reputation, and there's really not much you can ever do to get back in the good graces of the platform. That is abusing the copyright takedown system. It's basically a 10 commandment that, when broken, is a cardinal sin that banishes you straight to the shadow realm in the eyes of everyone who uses YouTube. And unfortunately, a massive YouTuber today took a bite out of that forbidden fruit. His name is Brent Rivera. I actually recently talked about this goofball only 9 days ago. He was recently involved in some medium-rare YouTube beef where he and another YouTuber named Tyler Oliveira were staying at the same haunted hotel that they were milking the tits out of for content. Now, I'm not one to usually believe in the paranormal, but after all of this going around here, I'm starting to think that Brent Rivera really did catch a curse from this hotel. He's now being haunted by a clout demon that's using his body like a fucking fleshlight, a little puppet that's forcing him to say the stupidest shit imaginable and has transformed him into an even bigger douchebag. But anyway, these two YouTubers stayed at the hotel. Tyler Oliveira started trolling Brent a little bit. He was clearly instigating, so he'd go up and like say, hey, do you fake your pranks? Nothing like super mean or aggressive or anything, just like, hey, you fake your pranks, don't you? And Brent would go on the defensive. He'd be like a cornered animal. He'd be like, oh, no, I don't fake my pranks. Do you fake your fucking pranks? And then throughout the night, the two would cross paths in what seemed to be accidental because it's not a huge area. And every time they did cross paths, Brent Rivera and his henchmen would insult Tyler. So it ended up just this horrible look for him where he looks like a piece of shit because he kept insulting Tyler. While Tyler did start it, per se, his was less egregious than everything Brent was doing, so Brent ended up looking significantly worse. It was very petty stuff. I covered it because I thought it was silly, but anyway, that's where it all started. That's why it's important here. So Brent Rivera was getting dunked on by his own community of 4-year-olds who somehow found Tyler's content, or I guess maybe a TikTok of someone dancing while explaining it, must have enlightened them and opened their third eye to the situation, because everyone turned on him. Brent Rivera got a lot of shit tossed at him. A lot of YouTubers started making content around him, and I guess at some point something must have snapped. The nice guy went bad, and Brent Rivera went rogue and started copyright striking and copyright claiming some people's content that was critical of him. And one of those YouTubers is a commentary channel named Dumpy. He's made a couple of videos clowning on Brent for this whole situation, and today posted this video titled Brent Rivera Wants to Delete My Channel, where he goes over what he's been dealing with behind the scenes over the last 12 or so hours, where Brent Rivera or someone that represents him on his team have been filing takedown requests on the content that's been laughing at him. And while those weren't taken down instantly, he did have one piece of content taken down, which was this video here, and it was taken down for harassment, violating the YouTube harassment policy. Now, I haven't seen that video, and I haven't found a re-upload of it, at least not as of right now while I'm recording this, so I can't access it, but I'm inclined to believe that this is a load of dirty barnacles. Calling out shitty behavior isn't harassment. There's nothing wrong with calling out a misbehaving bad actor to the principal's office and disciplining him. As I understand it, Dumpy was just bending him over and taking his hand to his cheeks and spanking him, letting him know that what he's done is cringe, right? Like, that's not that big of a deal. But sometimes there's always going to be big egos and fragile, sensitive, thin-skinned people, like Brent Rivera seems to be, who find this content and get upset about it. And then that broken YouTube copyright system starts to look real appetizing, like a nice big glass of water while you've been starving in the desert. And they just can't help themselves. Just like Adam and Eve, they just need to take a bite out of that apple. So either Brent or someone on his team decided to start filing copyright takedown requests, which can result in strikes. Luckily, in Dumpy's case, YouTube actually sided with Dumpy. They made him aware that someone was trying to take down the content, but they ruled in Dumpy's favor that they weren't going to be giving him any strikes for it or anything like that. So big W from YouTube on that, but big fucking L for Brent Rivera or whoever is representing Brent Rivera in this way, whether it's a fan or whether he's using one of those scummy, shady third-party companies that do these takedown requests on behalf of creators. A lot of those stinky companies exist, and it's their entire business model to just slap down all types of content unjustly in order to either bury it or make money off of it for the creator. It's a very awful thing. So it might not have been Brent Rivera himself. It could have been one of those companies, or it could have been like fans that for some reason went to arms, you know, picked up a fucking sword and said, we're going to take down Dumpy because he was mean to the guy that we like. I guess that's also somewhat possible because of how broken YouTube's system is, and they still haven't really bothered to fix it. But me personally, I'm inclined to believe that it is Brent Rivera himself in this case here. At least from what I've seen presented in Dumpy's video, it leads me to believe that it's likely Brent Rivera or someone very close to him. So let me walk you through how this thing usually goes. When a YouTuber makes the decision to go nuclear and start filing these kind of takedown requests, the whole community turns against them. People fucking hate that, for good reason. That's the lowest shit you could sink to. Just stop being a little bitch and accept that not everyone's going to like you. And when you do some dumb, embarrassing shit because your ego bubbles over and you embarrass yourself, people are gonna make fun of you for it. That's the circle of life, baby. That's nature. That's the way God made this world. And yeah, in the cyberspace as well. You know, I bet even, you know, the Lord was on an alt account kind of laughing about what you did here, because you looked real stupid during it. The point I'm making is, you just move on from it. You don't do this. When you do copyright abuse shenanigans, it is always like sticking your head into a beehive. You are the only one who gets hurt, but you are just too focused on the potential sweetness in that hive, that honey. You got consumed by the idea that you could take down these videos that were being mean and people being mean to you, you could bury it, but what always ends up happening is you make the problem much worse. You escalate it to a much higher degree. If I can turn your attention back to Exhibit A here, I'd like to explain why I think Brent Rivera himself or someone close to him filed this. It's because of these questions that were answered here. So, I don't remember exactly if YouTube always supplies this, but I guess in Dumpy's case they did. So these were questions in regards to the takedowns, why he was filing him. He was claiming that Dumpy used his entire video and basically just re-uploaded it, which is a blatant lie. That's not the case. Dumpy used clips from the videos and talked about it and made fun of him for it. He wasn't just re-uploading raw videos, it was transformative. He was literally giving input every like fucking 15-20 seconds, just showing clips from it to talk about it afterwards. But these were the questions that were answered. How much of your copyrighted work is used? Most of the video were my original videos from my YouTube channel. No other original content from the creator was shown. That is categorically false. This is a DEFCON, Red Alert, Liar Liar, Pants on Fire, Brent Rivera's career is looking dire situation. You can watch any of the videos and see that it is not just mainly his original video, it is Dumpy opining on it. Next question, how is the market for your original work affected by this use? It affects it negatively. That right there is the biggest tip-off for me that flips on the light bulb in my head that tells me Brent Rivera likely filed this, because no self-respecting third-party company that does this professionally on behalf of creators would ever answer that question like that. It's a very concise answer, but it also doesn't even answer the question. The question is, how is the market for your original work affected? And his response was, it affects it negatively. That's like how a child would answer it. I know Brent Rivera makes videos for children, but it seems like he also has the brain of one too. He's stuck in like 3rd grade. You're supposed to explain your reasoning, so it affects it negatively, but how? Why? Like, what exactly is this doing to encroach on you and your original content? How is it stealing from you or ruining your content? And he just gives like fucking 5 words here. Moving on, does this use significantly transform your original work, or does it serve the same purpose? It serves the same purpose, it does not transform it at all. So you didn't watch it at all, is what that tells me. Because how the fuck could it serve the same purpose? It's the exact opposite purpose. The purpose of your original video is to entertain kids. The purpose of Dumpy's video was to take a shit on you. And that's it, like making fun of you for the entertainment. Unless you are saying that the content you make, you are also supposed to be the butt of the joke of, though that I don't think is the case. It doesn't serve the same purpose, not even fucking close. And the fact that he's saying it doesn't transform it at all tells me he didn't watch it, because it is mainly Dumpy talking about him and using some clips to back up his claims. Does this use fall into an exception to copyright protection? Please note that we may share your response with the uploader. No, it isn't fair use since the uploaded did not adjust the content at all and is most of his video. Again, this is structured like a literal child on a fucking 4th grade English assignment here. No professional will be answering these questions this way, especially since this is a legal matter. When you file something like this, it is literally a legal matter, and he is answering these things and can't even be bothered to get the words correct. Instead of saying uploader, he says uploaded. Like, this is very poorly put together, and it is very wrong. This is the very definition of fair use. He's not using your full video, A, and B, he is using clips in order to provide commentary and critique, and he dunks on you, showing the clips to enforce his points and talk about his points with. So it's just wrong on every possible level, and he filled this out in like 3 seconds. Like, he gave the quickest answers possible as if he was trying to just scribble his way through a test in school, like a quick quiz. It is poorly done, very haphazardly thrown together. It seemed like he was very much in his feelings and tried to take down the content that was making him upset, and now you look like an absolute fool and you've ruined your reputation even further, Brent. if such a thing was even possible. Somehow your audience of children are actually being aware of this now, which is the last thing I imagine you wanted to happen with the drama. You're just doing all of the wrong things here. You fucked up. You should have just moved on from it, apologized for it, and been done with it. You made a terrible response to this whole thing, trying to give context to it, where even in that you make yourself look stupid. Like, you played this terribly, you played yourself, and you look dumb. Luckily, Dumpy's channel I don't think is going to get deleted or get in any hot water from this situation, so that's good, but it is really frustrating to see yet another big creator like Brent Rivera try and bully people around by abusing the copyright systems on the platform that have been broken for a long time. That's always going to be a big fuck you from me for people that do that, so very awful shit, Brent, or whoever is representing Brent here. That's about it. See ya. This is between you and me. Don't tell the FBI, but I'm about to do something illegal. I'm changing my mind. You see, 22 months ago I posted a video called The Worst YouTuber, and in this video I discussed a man named NNA Productions who I believed at the time was the worst YouTuber on the platform. At least when strictly speaking about content. I mean, there's people on this platform that make videos advocating for bleach enemas, so there's definitely worse people on the platform, but I meant strictly looking at it from a content perspective. I believed he was pumping out nothing but straight painful hemorrhoids for the viewer to look at. I no longer stand by that opinion. I'm going to share with you the story of NNA Productions, a story of shame, horror, tears, and redemption. Before getting into this, I feel I unfortunately need to remind people not to fucking harass people I make videos about, so please stop doing that shit. Let me start by sharing my video from 22 months ago when I first discovered and covered his channel. Now, he makes the same video every time. Every video is exactly the same, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration, like, oh, he pumps out the same type of content. He makes the exact same video every single time, just with one detail changed. He says the exact same things verbatim in every single video, regardless of what the video's title is. He does the exact same things. It's all so incredibly formulaic, and nothing changes from video to video, except the very end where he changes the scare. Now, this is very important, because at the time when I made that video, NNA Productions had been copy and pasting the exact same videos over and over again. The man was just fucking copying his own homework and farming views off the YouTube Kids app. Now, when I say copy and pasting, it's not like he was actually just reusing clips. He would do all of this shit from scratch, but do it the exact same way. It was kind of impressive to not get bored doing that constantly, but also equally disgusting. Now, I'm happy to say 22 months later, he is still doing the exact same shit with no change whatsoever. It is so fucking incredible. What was once his Achilles heel has now become his saving grace. It is wrapped around from being the worst YouTuber to the strongest, most persistent YouTuber I've ever seen in my life. This man has been attacked by tons of YouTubers. He made a video doing this shit for Etika's death. Terrible, despicable, shameless garbage. And not even the backlash from that was enough to have him go back to the drawing board and reevaluate his formula. He kept doing the same thing, the same video every time. He's like a robot who's been programmed to only make one thing, and no matter how hard he tries, he cannot defy his destiny, his purpose, his creation. He's like a record player that's constantly skipping on the same beat, forced to do this perpetual song and dance without any variations because he can't. He is the Derek Zoolander of YouTubers. He only has one look, one piece of content that he has been milking the fuck out of for 3 years, but not even successfully milking it because there's nothing left. It has gone well beyond dry. It's been dead for fucking 3 years now, but he is still going. It'd be like trying to milk your grandmother's ass, but all you're getting is these dusty fucking farts in your face. You know, you had this once plentiful source of calcium, but now all you're getting is this foul Methodist of what once was. It doesn't exactly work with the grandmother analogy, but you get the idea. It's fucking, the well has run dry. He is still using a fucking fidget spinner in his video. It's incredible. This man is the definition of insanity. So much so that I think even he's aware of it. He has Jared Leto's Joker tattoos on his body. Remember Jared Leto from the worst superhero movie ever, Suicide Squad? He had the worst Joker of all time. He had the ha-ha-has on his body. Yeah, NNA Productions has those ha-ha-ha tattoos on him in reference to the Joker. It's crazy to me. He's the embodiment of chaos. Well, no, he's the exact opposite. He's the embodiment of routine, but not a good routine. So I'm getting carried away. Let's just dive in. Let's take a look at his channel right now. As you can see, it is remarkably similar to how it was 22 months ago when I first checked on it, which was incredibly similar to how it was a year before that. It is remarkable. He is still using the exact same thumbnails, the exact same formula, everything. Same titles, still doing 3 a.m. challenges for whatever trendy mobile game scare is going around the elementary schools. I just can't believe it. This is why I'm so impressed. Common sense would dictate at some point the human psyche can only handle so much of the exact same thing day after day, because he does this almost 7 days a week. So he is constantly doing the exact same thing, constantly editing the exact same thing. I don't know how he can handle it.
If I spin this fidget spinner on this mini mouse, alright, just on this mini mouse for 5 seconds, you guys have to smash the like button. Dear guys, let's do this. 3, 2, 1, let's do this. 1, 2.
And here's his most recent video 22 months later. Let's see if we can spot any differences here. Spoiler alert, you won't spot any differences here.
Guys, if I spin this fidget spinner on one of these little gumballs for 5 seconds, you guys have to smash that like button. Yeah guys, let's do this. Come on. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, night guys, have to smash the like button.
Wanna join my free gift cards giveaway? Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and turn notifications on. And finally, tell me on the comment section that you subscribe.
Boom, night guys, have to smash that like button right now.
Wanna join my free gift cards giveaway? Subscribe to my channel, like the video.
He's like Robin Williams coming out of Jumanji, confused on what year it is. He's still using a fidget spinner into 2020. I thought that shit had gone extinct. I thought there was a recall and they got every fidget spinner in the world and threw it in the desert like with Area 51 for the NES. It is incredible to me. He's like caught in a time vortex. It is, I mean this in sincerity, it is actually impressive to me that at no point throughout the last 3 years he has decided to make even the smallest or most subtle of changes. And he is still doing the gift card giveaway scam, which is an actual felony. You can't pretend to give away shit without actually giving away shit. You can't do that. It's fucking silly that this is still going. At no point has he thought to himself, well, maybe this will be a problem sometime down the line. Which is even more impressive to me, and it only speaks to his strength even further, where he's like, fuck it. I've gotten this far, I'm gonna keep doing it the exact same way.
Another brand new video, another day, another banger. Guys, on today's video, we have a really insane video, alright? For those who don't know who's Minnie Mouse, I'll put the picture right over here, guys. Look at this. So this is Minnie Mouse, alright, guys? It's a girl version of Mickey Mouse, alright, guys? I know everyone knows who's Mickey Mouse, and I think everyone knows who's Minnie Mouse, the girl version of Mickey Mouse. Back to another brand new video, another day, another banger. So guys, on today's video, we have a really insane video, alright, guys? And it's about the ice cream man and the scary teacher together, alright, guys? That's what actually happens, alright, guys? For those who doesn't know who's the scary teacher, boom, this is the scary teacher, alright, guys? The scary teacher.
She doesn't look that scary to me. I could probably FaceTime her at 3 a.m. without having like a sodden apocalypse in my trousers about it. It's been another day, another banger for 3 years now. This Groundhog Day has persisted for a long time. And the bangers, they keep a-comin', baby. It is so crazy to me. I know he doesn't script these. There's no way he's scripting them. This is genuinely just like the setting he's just constantly on.
What are you talking about? Come on, just go on a dinner with him.
So should we do this?
You will? What did I do, guys? I was just trying to make them talk with each other. Yo, alright, guys, this is it. I have no idea what to do right now, alright, guys? And I'm absolutely so scared right now. I think it's them. Oh my god, guys, I think they actually came here. Yo, I just locked my door and they are just standing outside the door, alright, guys? Yo, I'm just gonna end the video right over here and get some help, alright, guys? So much to give a big thumbs up.
I didn't feel it was necessary to play too much of the video here because, like I said, it is a carbon copy of every other video he made, including the ones I touched on 22 months ago. But I will say, there is one difference here. He's doing even less. In the videos 22 months ago, he would have a friend and a couple other people hold up little popsicle sticks with a face of the scary person on it at the end of the video to show like, hey, look, they actually came, look, there he is on the popsicle stick or like the hockey stick. Here, he doesn't even bother. He just says, oh, they're right there, and I'm gonna go. So he's found out an even more effective formula. Now he doesn't have to, you know, pay a casting crew to hold up the pieces of wood or whatever the fuck they were on. It was like little fucking party masks that he got at Party City that he would strap onto things. He didn't even have to do that this time around. So he's somehow refine the formula to be even better. So I just wanted to talk about this because I was blown away to find out that it is exactly the same as it was 22 months ago, 3 years ago. It's crazy. I think that persistence is nothing shy of admirable and confusing. That's about it. See ya. If you're standing up, you're going to want to sit down for this announcement because I'm coming in hot. I'm about to hit you with the truth. I am not a drama channel. I like to joke about internet drama quite often. I think it's very entertaining to talk about some petty internet shit that goes on when egos collide and just other weird stories from the internet. I think that's very enjoyable. But I've never wanted my identity to be someone like a fucking teenage girl that constantly engages in drama or stirs up controversy with others on the platform. I know some people disagree, like, Charlie only does drama these days, and that's fine to have that perspective. I just personally don't see it that way and never really want that to be my identity. So this will be the last video I make about vegan gains. This will be the last time you hear Voldemort's name leave my mouth here. So I made that video addressing a controversy, talking about the video Vegan Gains made about me, calling me a hypocrite for eating meat, and calling out someone who tortures animals on YouTube. He's made a follow-up video. He had a 4-hour stream, which I tuned into because I wanted his perspective. I did open that video up for a dialogue. I thought that's what the goal was, but Vegan Gains has made it clear he doesn't give a fuck about a conversation, he only cares about milking the attention. So right after I posted my video, he went live on YouTube where he watched my 10-minute video for about an hour and a half. I want to say right away, I don't condone people going to harass anyone I make videos about. I hate that behavior. I will never encourage that shit. So the people that went there just to make fun of him or anything like that, you never ever have my encouragement or my blessing to do so. I think that shit sucks. But that did happen. He spent an hour and a half watching a 10-minute video because he'd stop every 2 words to screech and scream one of 3 things, one of only 3 phrases he seems to know: straw man, ad hominem, and poisoning the well. It was a truly insufferable live stream to sit through, but in between his constant short-circuiting where he was only able to regurgitate one of 3 words and talking about the Holocaust and rape, he made good points. He had very sound arguments that I respected. And not just respected, 100% agree with. But sitting through that live stream was tough. The constant pausing to dissect each word was more painful than listening to the animal screams in a slaughterhouse. But in between having a macho man meltdown where he'd, challenge people from the chat to come fight him if they disagreed or whatever, he said, "Charlie, if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it," which I had every intention of doing because, like I said, I thought that's what the goal was. We each say our piece and discuss it. However, a mere 2 hours after the live stream ended, somewhere in there, he put up another video addressing it. Even though he had just gone 4 hours thoroughly dissecting everything, he made another video just to milk those titties, get a little extra drama out of this whole situation. He started his stream a little bit before I started streaming myself, so while he was still going, I had already started streaming. By the time I was done streaming, he had already posted another video that had been up for like 2 hours. So it seems like only a couple hours after his stream that went 4 hours dissecting it concluded, he made another video just to really reach deep into the colon of controversy to keep getting some attention out of it. I don't see what the point of the live stream was when you were still made up your mind about making another video, regardless of if I took you up on a debate or conversation offer. So to me, that seems like you don't even genuinely believe in having a conversation, you just really want the attention from this whole situation. So to me, that seems like you really liked all of the donations you got during your stream. There was a lot of those trolls, like I mentioned, that were donating to make fun of him, and then people in his community donating to support him. So he made a lot of money off the controversy while covering the topic. He did send me a tweet asking if we could have a conversation while I was streaming, and by the time I saw the tweet, the video had already gone up. So he had already made up his mind that he was going to continue making videos about the drama to really squeeze every last bit of extra views he could get out of the situation. So again, after watching the video, a lot of points I agree with, and he even pointed out things I personally thought I messed up on. For example, misrepresenting points, that wasn't my intention. For example, the dog, Dr. Seuss tale he told, the weird shit about someone goes in their backyard and shoots their dog. The way he said it was, someone shoots a dog in their backyard. To me, that sounds like someone has gone into someone else's backyard and shot a dog for no reason. But I misunderstood what he was saying. With his galaxy brain, he was talking about the owner going in the backyard and shooting their own dog. It was a genuine misunderstanding, not some kind of sinister way to try and twist what he was saying. The main thing that you're right about 100% is in my initial video, I didn't make any arguments to counter you. I absolutely did not. That wasn't the goal of the video. I wasn't trying to debunk you or fight you on all of your points or anything like that. There was a few that I didn't understand clearly, like the dog thing, but I wasn't trying to counter you. That wasn't the goal of the video. The purpose of my video, the point I was making, is the way you conduct yourself, your character, is the worst thing for veganism and the worst look to people that are already sympathetic to your cause. You're not going after the actual animal abusers, you're going after people in the fitness industry that eat meat. You went after me because I called out an animal abuser, but I eat meat. You yourself didn't call out animal abuse. I imagine you'll do something for H3H3 because he called So Young out and he eats meat. You're not going after the actual problem. You're going after people that are already sympathetic to it and driving them away. That was my point. I wasn't arguing your beliefs because I'm not trying to convert you to my side or anything. And I don't care that you criticized me. I have thick skin. I can take it. Half of my content is dedicated to criticizing things, so I expect it back. The point I'm making is your entire history on YouTube has been actively shooting the idea of meat substitutes in the foot to people that aren't in the know. You say a lot of it's geared towards education, but if you look at the video you made about me, only a chunk in the middle seems educational where you talk about the alternatives and, well, here's what you could have done. That's educational. The entire second half of the video is you call So Young a piece of shit, look in the mirror, you're a hypocrite, 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 you do this, you're a hypocrite, she does this, she's not a hypocrite, you're a hypocrite, big hypocrite. That's not educational and it doesn't do anything. You're not challenging my beliefs, you're not making me reevaluate the way I look at things, that's just you doing an attack. And it's a big leap as well, the way you go about it. But since you want to play this game, I'll hop in the swamp with you for a moment and fight you on some things. Your comparison to me eating a chicken tender being the same as So Young torturing animals on YouTube for entertainment, if not worse, that is just outright ridiculous and you're fucking delusional. It's hard to have, like, an actual cohesive argument to that because it is so outlandish. That's like me saying you support the abuse of women and children by buying tickets to a movie. Hollywood has abused child actors and actresses constantly. So by you having seen even a single movie in your life, you have supported that. It's a moral high ground anyone can take against anyone for anything. You wear a gaming headset during your streams. You realize those parts that compose that gaming headset, a lot of them are made in sweatshops. Very, very immoral means of getting those parts, and you're wearing it freely. So by wearing that, you're supporting that kind of terrible thing in the world. I'm of course not the only one to make this comparison, but you keep dodging it. On Twitter, a user proposed the exact same thing, and your response was, "Oh, you're just retarded. You're not nearly on the same level of intelligence that I am. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm holier than thou. You're wrong. Look at Foxconn." I don't know if you're joking or if you're actually dumb, but Foxconn actually does use minors at their factories in China. They're being investigated for it. It's pretty well documented. And Foxconn's an extremely terrible place to work that's well known for workers committing suicide. So I don't know why you'd use this as an example to somehow dismiss the argument. But even if you did cherry pick like the world's best factory, it doesn't dismiss the comparison. That'd be like me saying, hey, look at this incredible slaughterhouse that treats its animals extremely well. This is representative of all slaughterhouses, right? It just doesn't make any sense. You just come across real dumb here. You're also pathetically lying on Twitter. I've never blocked anyone on YouTube. I had to Google where I could even find that feature to see if anyone's blocked. There's nobody even listed there. This is just an outright lie. You also act like you're some huge war hero that came out triumphant over this incredible internet battle where you slap me around on my arguments. But I didn't make any arguments. You said yourself I didn't make any arguments, so I don't know what you're going on about here puffing out your chest for. You also act like I'm afraid to talk to you, as if I'm hiding in some underground bunker in a shelter, avoiding the boogeyman of veganism, which clearly isn't the case. You decided to turn this into a video war back and forth instead of waiting for me to respond or see if I even wanted to respond. I only had a window for a couple of hours in between your live stream and then your pathetic speedrun attempt on YouTube drama by posting a follow-up video to Farm Controversy, and I was streaming during this window in the first place, so it's not like I've had all of these opportunities to touch base with you. You've made it clear your intention isn't a conversation. It's to just keep milking drama, getting as many videos out of it as you can. And if you want to go in the hypocrite route, you're a massive fucking hypocrite. You have a Teespring where you sell Vegan Gains cotton t-shirts. cotton is not only one of the worst things for the environment, we'll go ahead and set that aside because I don't think you give a fuck about that. We're going to talk about its direct impact on animals. The production of cotton accounts for 24% of the global insecticide market. Insecticide in the cotton production often leaks into the water supply of the nearby areas and threatens biodiversity and directly poisons the animals. So by you selling cotton t-shirts, you are directly killing animals. And not just that, you're profiting from it, which is even worse. In fact, it goes beyond that. You're paying someone else to make these cotton t-shirts for you, which are killing animals, and you're making money off of it. It's pretty extreme, man. That's a lot worse than what meat eaters do, people that eat KFC. I actually don't even eat KFC, by the way. That was the first time I've eaten KFC since I was 6 years old. And I really don't eat red meat. That was the first time I've taken a nibble of red meat in about a decade. But what you do is so much worse than those things, because people that do eat meat like that, the animal's already dead, with or without them buying it. But for you, that shirt didn't exist until you put it in production. So you actually just brought it out there and have some blood on your hands, whereas meat eaters, they're a little bit cleaner than you in that regard. I double and triple checked to make sure this was actually your merch store, because I couldn't believe that you wouldn't know about the impact cotton has on animals. I'm sure you know about the impact on the environment, that's pretty well known, but animals specifically. Because that seems like something you'd be very well aware of and want to avoid, but it is yours. I found it through your YouTube video announcement with it, and I get the video itself as a joke, but the shirts are real. I can order one right now, and people have ordered them, and I have to wonder if they know just what kind of impact that has on animals, and if they're okay with that. I know cotton is deemed vegan friendly, but I don't get why. Animals aren't directly killed to make cotton, but the production of cotton directly leads to animal deaths and getting rid of a lot of homes for animals. Now, I'm pretty sure you're probably finding a way to tap dance around that fact or dispute it. You're very tenacious, but there is a point that you can't fight on when it comes to cotton. We'll use the Aral Sea as an example. The Aral Sea was the 4th largest lake in the world for a time, but during the 1960s, local government diverted the waterways that fed the Aral Sea into cotton production, because cotton production is so water intensive. Over time, this drained the Aral Sea, and it's now the Aralkum Desert. It's just completely empty. There's no lake there anymore. All the fish that lived there are dead. The animals that inhabited it and used it as a watering hole are no more. They've either moved somewhere else or died as a result of the poisoning. Now, I know you and a lot of members in your community feel that you are 100% in the right, and anyone who eats meat can never be right and is in the wrong, but I'd argue what you're doing is a lot worse than someone that's eating a chicken tender, or people that eat meat to survive, or just as part of their diet since it's financially cheaper than a lot of the alternatives at the moment. You are profiting off of directly hurting animals through the production of your merchandise. I really can only imagine how many times you've stopped this video on stream by now. I imagine it's well over 100. It's probably about a 3-hour stream by now, dissecting each part of this. But I have to say, in your words, what's your excuse? There's plenty of alternatives to cotton that don't damage the environment or hurt animals. Why didn't you use those options? Why'd you choose cotton? I even decided to check all around Teespring and people talking about Teespring, because I thought, well, there's no way Vegan Gains would let this fly. There's no way he wouldn't know about this. Maybe Teespring's doing something totally different, getting their cotton in a different way. Like fucking Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood alchemy, just bringing it out of existence or something where nothing's getting damaged. But I couldn't find anything like that. All of their stuff is sourced outside of the US, and I couldn't find too much information on how or where exactly the procedure. So there is an option for 100% organic cotton, which is a little bit better than normal cotton, but you didn't choose that option. You chose 100% cotton. So there really is no excuse. I want to make it clear, I actually don't believe these things. I don't think this way. I'm just going by your line of thinking by comparing me eating a chicken tender to me being worse than torturing live animals on a YouTube video aimed at children. It's a very silly way of interpreting things, and you can see just how silly it is when you apply it in different areas like this. It's silly to ignore the fact that living in this day and age comes at a cost, and unfortunately that cost is animal lives. Vegan Gains, you may not eat animals directly or use products that are directly derived from animals, but a lot of the products you use every day have had animals die for that production. For example, you made a video talking about toilet paper being out in your area because of coronavirus. Well, as I'm sure you're well aware, toilet paper comes from trees that animals once called home, but As deforestation continues, deforestation leaves so many animals dead and homeless just to provide that toilet paper for you, vegan gains. So that toilet paper you're wiping your precious asshole with has blood on it because those animals have died because of that production of that toilet paper. So you yourself are a hypocrite just for existing in this world because everything that surrounds you at some point down the pipeline had an animal die because of it. So there's no reason to draw this distinction between eating animals is so much worse than using products animals have died for. These are the same thing. Animals die on both sides. It's just a matter of which one you have morally deemed worse than the other. You march around like you're this morally superior celestial being, but you're really not. I don't find you to be like this moral authority of YouTube. Throughout your entire history on YouTube, it's been a controversial one. One thing you've done pretty often is make fun of people with cancer, which I think is very low. Even recently, it's not like you've progressed past an edgy stage. Recently, you made fun of a bodybuilder who took a picture with a child with cancer.
Cancer is an almighty killer, and I wish there was a cure for it. I, for one, will be supporting Team Lewis in the future and hope you guys will too. One day, cancer will be a thing of the past and the memory of Lewis will live on in the cure when it's found.
Well, Eddie, since we're still waiting for that cure for cancer to be found, how about in the meantime we try and prevent ourselves from developing cancer in the first place?
Vegan Gains defends this clip vehemently by saying he's clearly not mocking this child with cancer, but I don't know how he can possibly not see how it seems like he is by the way he's talking. If I talk to you that way, Vegan Gains, you'd think that I'm mocking you, right? Like, my name's Richard and I'm so mad at meat. That sounds like I'm making fun of you, doesn't it? That's exactly what you did to this kid in this very tough situation. He goes on to talk about how red meat is, very correlated with cancer. And I don't know what Vegan Gains' degree is in, but I actually did go to college for human sciences. Concentration was exercise physiology. I've taken numerous nutritional courses. Richard talks about carcinogens. One of the first things you'll learn throughout nutrition in university, at least in my university, is that's the most obsolete way of looking at cancer-causing agents in food. Every single food out there is a known carcinogen. Even the safe stuff that your mom tucks you in at night saying is safe will watch over you at night, like broccoli. Broccoli is a very well-known carcinogen. Almonds too. Everything is a known carcinogen, and the way Richard presents this is extremely misleading. He presents the research in a way that makes it sound to his audience that if you eat red or processed meat, you're gonna get cancer. And while yes, red and processed meat is significantly worse than a lot of other options out there, it's extremely fucked up, and he always makes it sound like it's the person's fault they got cancer because they ate red meat. It's disgusting. I really think it's pretty fucked up, and I don't know why you think you have this moral high ground just because you're a vegan. It's a belief that you've instilled in your community as well, where everyone that supports you or supports veganism as a whole thinks that they can never be wrong, and anyone that eats meat is automatically wrong, so they don't even want to hear their opinion. They get locked in this bubble, which I think is terrible, because hearing different opinions leads to growth. It helps you discover things about yourself, learn new perspectives. As cliche as all that is, it's the truth. When you're locked in an echo chamber, nothing really gets done. I don't know you personally, Vegan Gains. From your videos, you seem well composed. Your live stream was a different story, but again, I understand with everything that went on. But the way you come across, I would have to guess you don't have a single friend that is a meat eater. I get the impression that you couldn't stand to be around someone that is a meat eater because you find it disgusting, and you couldn't see yourself associating with someone that has a different belief than you on that in that field specifically. I feel like you'd constantly be trying to prove them wrong or prove why they're a bad person in relation to you. It just seems like you need to be around sycophants that constantly echo your beliefs. I could be wrong, I don't know, but that's the impression I get, because that's the way you're perceived on YouTube by the way you're attacking everyone that's having a, meat on their plate. You're not really educating, as I pointed out earlier. You are still just going for an attack route that doesn't challenge beliefs, it just seems hateful. Another thing you have asked me and many other people, what's your excuse for not going for meat substitutes when you admit that they're better than real meat? Well, not everyone is as financially secure as you are. Meat patties from Beyond are much more expensive than traditional beef patties. It is $12 per pound of meat from Beyond versus the $4 per pound of just regular beef. It is a significant price difference that not every family can afford to make the switch to. In addition to that, in my area, personally, the grocers around here have a very limited selection of vegan options. In fact, there's a single rack that has Beyond, Impossible, and other meat substitutes as well as vegan options. It's extremely rare to come across. Now, yes, it could be ordered online, but then it's even more expensive from certain retailers. It is a more expensive lifestyle choice that not everybody can make. And to vilify people for either not being able to afford it or find it or know about it, I think is very wrong. Even during your own live stream during this, someone donated to you thanking you for the good work that you've done. They believed that you were doing a good thing, and you were helping them stay on the vegan path. He said he was 90% vegan, he still eats cheese occasionally, and the first thing you said to him was, you're not vegan. There's no such thing as 90% vegan, you're either vegan or you're not, you're a vegetarian. And you talked down to him. He was a fan of yours and you belittled him in front of the entire stream when he was very happy to support you financially, and you still talked down to him because he wasn't vegan enough for you, which is something I've noticed in your comments as well. When I talk about veganism in your comments, I'm really not talking about as a whole. I'm talking about certain bad actors in it. A lot of people in your comments attack each other. You know, a competition to be the biggest vegan. I feel like the content you make isn't geared towards getting people over to your side and seeing these great things veganism has to offer. It's more geared towards just getting high fives of approval, like, yes, you fucking owned that meat eater. And I just don't see why you wouldn't try and take the route of, here's what good things veganism has and you might be interested in. Hey, I see you were talking about animal abuse, you clearly care, here's some interesting things, which you did kind of touch on, but then still wanted to get those little, ass pats from your community in the comment section of, yeah, you fucking owned him. And I really do get the impression that it's just for the sake of milking a controversy because you made so much money during that live stream off it. And I think that's the worst part of it. Like I said, I had full intentions of having a conversation with you. You really didn't give me a chance because you had already posted a video by the time I even saw it. Before I even had a chance to reach out to you. You had clearly made up your mind that, yeah, I want to continue this. And now I just don't see why I would go on to debate you or bring you on the podcast to talk about it when it does seem your intention is just to grow from the controversy. You're getting a lot more views from this controversy, and like I said, you made a lot of money during that live stream. Again, I will never condone anyone going out of their way to harass anyone or anything like that. I have always vilified that kind of behavior and put it in a bad light, but unfortunately it's the internet, and there are bad actors that do that, and for that I am totally sorry. But I don't really have an interest in continuing a conversation with you past this video because I don't get the impression anymore that it's even genuine. I feel like I'm just playing into your hands to keep a toxic, one-sided debate going when we're really both in agreement on a lot of things. I just don't like you as a person, the way that you're conducting yourself on YouTube, the way that you're driving people away who are interested and would want to learn more. And even people in your own community, like, hey, I've been inspired by you and I feel like I'm doing a good job going vegan, you telling them, no, you're not vegan. So I am sure you will respond to this either during a live stream or the video, probably both like you did last time, but I don't think I'm going to continue this one-sided dialogue we're having here. And again, I want to reiterate, I have nothing but respect for veganism as a whole. I truthfully just don't like how Vegan Gains is portraying its appearance online. I don't like the reputation he's giving it, and that's the really only point that I was ever trying to make. That's about it. So yeah.